We know that all disciples of Jesus Christ, lay and clergy, are called into leadership into the world, and by definition, principled Christian leaders are also disciples of Jesus Christ. The great challenge of the leadership focus area is that it's so broad. We are all a part of it, every one of us at every level of the connection. We also know that without effective leadership, our efforts in global health, ministry with the poor, starting new faith communities, and revitalizing existing congregations will fail. We know from our experience in the local church, in our annual conferences, in general conference, and in general agencies that we are most effective when lay and clergy lead together. There is in the church a whole system of leadership development, an ecology of call. Because understanding our systems for developing principled Christian leaders is literally an ecology. How does the individual help shape the larger community using the resources and systems of the whole? How do we make time and space available for people to discern their call? How do we equip them to answer their call? This coming quadrennium, our goal is for 3 million United Methodists to become difference makers. That is, to engage 3 million people, both current and future United Methodists, lay and clergy, in an intentional process of discerning their God-given call and then actively working to answer that call through world-changing service. We think it's a bold goal, but an achievable one as well. Methodists have been about leadership development since Wesley's first class meeting. We have a lot to be proud of what we have achieved as a church, and with God's help, we will achieve even greater things for God's kingdom and purpose. I think God has big plans for us.
By the power of God's Spirit, we as United Methodists are creating new places for new people. And we believe that together we can accomplish amazing things to the glory of God. When we look at the work of Path One, we can see that we have accomplished lots over this past quadrennium. We have increased the number of new churches that have been planted globally. We've also seen an increase in the number of new churches that have been planted within the United States. There are lots of things that we celebrate in light of what's happening. We celebrate first the fact that new disciples are being made in these new churches. Over half of the people that we're seeing come to the new churches are actually new disciples for Jesus Christ. Secondly, we're also seeing, and we celebrate today, that over 40% of our new churches are racially and ethnically diverse. And we are also celebrating a decrease in the age of our new church pastors. About a quarter of our new church pastors are next generation leaders. Together, we are creating new places for new people. We are making disciples for Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world. We are reaching more people, more young people, more diverse people for the glory of God.
Ministry of the poor is not a new ministry practice. In the 18th century in England, the early Methodist societies were engaged with their neighbors who were either imprisoned, who were working in dreadful conditions, or hungry. The children couldn't read, and they set about to be in ministry with those neighbors. Today, we're seeking to recover and reclaim that early heritage of the Methodist societies. And what we know is that we've been doing it for years. But we're learning how to do it better, and we're learning from each other as we seek to engage with our neighbors where we live. And engaging with our neighbors, we've discovered that all of God's children have God-given gifts. And our relationships with each other, bringing our gifts together, we're seeing communities transformed to be places of justice and compassion.
And what's exciting about this coming quadrennium is that we can take the lessons that we've learned, the practitioners we've connected with, and help resource the entire connection so that we can work with United Methodists and communities around the world who want to journey with their neighbors who are impacted by broken systems, journey with them as they create transformation in their community and a witness to Christ's transforming love in the world.
What I also hope happens in the coming quadrennium is that really God's people have an imagination that is larger than they could ever believe possible. And in that kind of imagination that they will seek new ways in which connecting and embracing their neighbors and the neighborhoods in which they live. Because we should aim for what God aims and dreams about, and that is that all God's children have a life filled with compassion and the abundance that our God desires for them.
Since 2008, when global health was named one of the 4 areas of focus for the church, we've made remarkable progress. We've raised over $7 million to support Nothing But Nets. We've raised over $68 million to support Imagine No Malaria, and that has impacted over 4.6 million lives. We've distributed more than 2.3 million nets. In Africa, we've supported over 300 clinics and hospitals with drugs and equipment. We've reached children in 16 countries in Africa. But we know that the work is not over. We know that there's still so much to be done. In 2015, the World Health Organization reported 6 million children died from preventable causes. That's 16,000 children dying every day that could have been prevented. And as a church, we feel that our mandate is to promote abundant life, and abundant life includes abundant health. So our goal in the next 4 years is to reach 1 million children with life-saving intervention, promoting safe birth, promoting diagnosis and treatment, promoting healthy nutrition all over the world.
Well, that's it. That wraps up our Connectional Table Talks for General Conference 2016. Thank you so much for joining us as we prepare for General Conference. In less than a week, we will all be gathering in Portland, Oregon to celebrate who we are as people called United Methodists, where we will be talking about what we teach, who shall teach, and what we will do into the next quadrennium. We invite you to turn to umc.org and follow United Methodist Communications work on General Conference. They will be live streaming in Portland every day starting on May 10th. Introductions, interviews, all kinds of great stuff will be there. So turn to umc.org and follow us as we come together as people called United Methodists.